Civil service accountability and anti-corruption. Core principle. The civil service exists to administer the lawful policies of elected governments. Civil servants do not govern the nation. Civil servants do not create national policy. Civil servants do not possess democratic legitimacy independent of elected representatives. The role of the civil service is to provide expertise, administration, continuity, and lawful implementation of government policy. The civil service shall remain politically neutral. However, political neutrality does not remove accountability. No unelected institution shall exercise significant public power without oversight. 1. Constitutional duty of neutrality. Civil servants shall be prohibited from using public office to advance political causes, obstructing lawful government policy, selectively enforcing policy based upon personal beliefs, leaking confidential information for political purposes, coordinating with political parties while acting in office, or using administrative powers to influence elections. The civil service serves the nation and constitution, not political factions. 2. Duty to implement lawful policy. Once Parliament has passed legislation and government policy is lawfully approved, civil servants have a duty to implement that policy. Civil servants may provide advice, criticism, risk assessments, alternative recommendations, and professional expertise. However, once a lawful decision is made, deliberate obstruction is prohibited. Civil servants may refuse only where the order is unlawful, unconstitutional, corrupt, or violates protected rights. Policy disagreement alone is not grounds for refusal. 3. Civil service performance reviews. Senior civil servants shall undergo periodic performance reviews. Reviews shall examine departmental performance, implementation success, financial efficiency, project delivery, legal compliance, and public accountability. Review results shall be recorded and published where national security does not prevent disclosure. 4. Constitutional Integrity Commission. A Constitutional Integrity Commission shall investigate allegations of corruption, abuse of office, unlawful political activity, misuse of public funds, interference with lawful government policy, deliberate administrative obstruction, conflicts of interest, and institutional misconduct. The Commission shall be independent from government ministers, political parties, the civil service, and private interests. 5. Public accountability hearings. Senior officials responsible for major departments may be required to appear before public accountability hearings. These hearings may examine failed projects, major overspending, policy implementation failures, corruption allegations, and significant public complaints. Findings shall be published. The purpose is transparency rather than political theatre. 6. Civil Service Recall Review. The public cannot directly remove civil servants. However, where significant evidence exists of misconduct, a civil service recall review may be triggered. Requirements include evidence of misconduct, corruption, unlawful political activity, abuse of authority, repeated failure of duty, or serious negligence. Reviews may be requested by Parliament, oversight institutions, or citizen petitions meeting strict evidence thresholds. Possible outcomes include warning, demotion, reassignment, dismissal, pension penalties in severe cases, and criminal prosecution. 7. Transparency requirements. All major departments shall publish annual performance reports, spending reports, project outcomes, Procurement contracts and audit findings. Government information belongs to the public unless national security requires protection. Transparency is the first defense against corruption. 8. Protection for whistleblowers. Civil servants who report corruption, unlawful conduct, misuse of public funds, political interference, or abuse of authority shall receive legal protection. Retaliation against whistleblowers shall constitute serious misconduct. 9. Personal responsibility for unlawful actions. No civil servant may avoid responsibility by claiming they were following orders. Where an official knowingly participates in corruption, unlawful conduct, political abuse, suppression of information, misuse of public funds, or constitutional violations, both the individual issuing the order and the individual carrying it out may be held accountable. The defense of "I was only following orders" shall not automatically exempt an individual from responsibility. 10. Restrictions on the revolving door. Senior civil servants shall face restrictions on immediately moving into lobbying organizations, government contractors, regulatory targets, or industries they previously supervised. Cooling-off periods shall be established by law. The purpose is to reduce conflicts of interest and regulatory capture. 11. Abuse of public office. Crimes committed while exercising public authority shall be treated as aggravated offenses. Civil servants possess powers granted by the public. Abuse of those powers represents a breach of public trust and may justify enhanced penalties. 12. Constitutional principle. No elected government shall control the civil service. No civil service shall control the elected government. The civil service shall possess independence. The elected government shall possess democratic authority. Both shall remain accountable to constitutional law. The purpose of this balance is to prevent both political dictatorship and bureaucratic rule. 6.1 Cost, civil service accountability and anti-corruption. Low-cost scenario. Assumptions. Existing civil service structures largely retained. Small integrity commission. Basic performance review systems. Minimal legal disputes. One-off costs. Item cost. Legislative changes £10 million. Performance review framework £20 million. Transparency portal £20 million. Integrity Commission set up £25 million. Total one-off cost £75 million. Annual running cost. Item cost. Integrity Commission £30 million. Performance reviews £20 million. Audits and hearings £15 million. Administration £10 million. Annual cost £75 million. Medium cost scenario. Assumptions. National review system. Department-wide performance monitoring. AI-assisted spending and project tracking. Regular accountability hearings. Moderate legal resistance. One-off costs. Item cost. Reform program £50 million. AI monitoring systems £50 million. Transparency infrastructure £50 million. Recruitment and training £50 million. Total one-off cost £200 million. Annual running cost. Item cost. Integrity Commission £75 million. Review teams £50 million. AI systems £25 million. Hearings and audits £25 million. Administration £25 million. Annual cost £200 million. High cost scenario. Assumptions. Major restructuring. Significant resistance. Extensive legal disputes. Full digital transformation. Large anti-corruption division. One-off costs. Item cost. National Reform Programme £100 million. AI and digital infrastructure £150 million. Staff retraining £100 million. Legal challenges £100 million. Total one-off cost. £450 million. Annual running cost. Item cost. Integrity Commission £150 million. Review teams £100 million. AI systems £50 million. Hearings and investigations £50 million. Administration £50 million. Annual cost. £400 million. 6.2 Savings and Efficiency Programme. The purpose of this chapter is not merely accountability. Its long-term purpose is to create a smaller, faster, more efficient civil service with lower administrative costs and improved project delivery. Low savings scenario. Year savings. Year 1 £250 million. Year 2 £500 million. Year 3 £750 million. Year 4 £1 billion. Year 5 £1.5 billion. Medium savings scenario. Year savings. Year 1 £500 million. Year 2 £1 billion. Year 3 £2 billion. Year 4 £3 billion. Year 5 £4 billion. High savings scenario. Year savings. Year 1 £1 billion. Year 2 £2 billion. Year 3 £4 billion. Year 4 £6 billion. Year 5 £8 billion. AI efficiency target. The framework specifically supports automation and AI-assisted administration. This means annual efficiency targets can be built directly into departmental reviews. Suggested target. Year reduction in administrative cost. Year 1 1%. Year 2 2%. Year 3 3%. Year 4 4%. Year 5 5%. The target is not staff cuts for their own sake. The target is less duplication, fewer manual processes, fewer reporting layers, faster project delivery, greater accountability, better use of public money. Recommended working assumption. Item amount. Setup cost £200 million. Annual cost £200 million. Year 5 savings target for £1 billion per year. Net fiscal position. Scenario annual cost year 5 savings net position. Low £75 million, £1.5 billion plus £1 point for 25 BN. Medium £200 million for £1 billion plus £3.8 BN. High £400 million, £8 billion plus £7.6 BN. Treasury note. Like chapters 4 and 5, this should be classified as a government efficiency program, not a spending program. The success metric should be reduction in administrative costs, reduction in failed projects, reduction in procurement waste, reduction in duplicated work, measurable productivity gains. Rather than simply reducing headcount,